Mr. Ritchie, I have you checked in. Good morning. We're just waiting for your attorney to appear.
Okay, good morning, Your Honor.
Attorney Fenwell, good morning.
Good morning. I'm here on Glenn Lucas.
Glenn Lucas.
You know, I just got the case Friday, late in the afternoon, late. I haven't spoke with him yet. I don't know if he doesn't show, I guess we'll just set it for exam, but I mean, it was a late appointment.
Okay. Do you just want to set the exam out outside of the 5 to 7 days from today?
Could we do the 13th or the 14th is better.
Okay, let me check with Madam Clerk.
I've got a couple matters in a Southfield district on Monday, but nothing Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
How about the 15th at 11:45?
Yeah, I can do the 15th.
At 11:45?
Sure.
And you have discovery?
I do.
Okay, Greg, did you get that date?
Do you have any,
Yes, Judge, I got the date. Thank you.
you don't have a phone number for him, do you?
I can check the file. Let me see his file.
I may get some more contact info later today from Third Circuit, but I haven't yet.
I do have a number. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
313-652-2585.
No email?
No email.
Okay. All right, I'll see you next week.
All right.
Works on people.
Thank you.
For anybody who is in the Zoom meeting and is here to just view proceedings, you must go to our website to click on virtual website to watch it from there. This is only for people who have cases today or litigants. So the person named Risha, please state your name.
Christopher Allen Williams.
Say it one more time.
Christopher Allen Williams.
The person whose name is Lucretia.
Oh,
State your
my
name. Say it again, I can't hear you. Miles, what?
Ahmad Jada.
Oh, Ahmad Jada, okay. His attorney is here.
And I'm here on Mr. Jada's case.
You need to speak to him?
Nope, thank you though. But if I could have a breakout room with Mr. Crago.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning.
Oh, I thought that's what I'm sorry. Okay, to the gentleman with the Samsung, what is your name, Chris? Chris Williams. Chris Williams, yes.
Yes.
I remember you from Friday. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay, you should have a new attorney today. Let's see who it is. So the person name with the black BUL name, what is your name? You're on mute, ma'am.
Neawana Williams.
Okay, what are you here for today?
I'm here for a case. I'm not sure exactly which case this is, but it's with Judge Aliyah Sabree, Courtroom 323.
Okay, this is 234. I am Judge Aliyah Sabree. Do you have a case or are you here to view?
I have a case.
Okay, you have a case number?
I don't have a case number.
What type of case is it? Is it criminal or traffic?
Criminal. It might be traffic.
What's the charge?
I just have a court paper that says defendant at the top and then do not report to court for this hearing.
What's your name?
I don't have a civilian name.
Okay, we can't look you up then if you don't have a name.
I don't have a name.
Okay.
So who should I call now?
Nobody can help you in court if you don't have a court case number or name.
All I have is the Zoom meeting ID number.
Yes. Okay, I'll get back to you in a second. Without a name, it's gonna take.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Attorney Cooper, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. I have Mr. Walters, James Walters.
Okay. No Mr. Walters in the meeting as of yet.
Yeah, I don't see him.
You just need a date?
Yes,
Okay, Madam Clerk, can you do a date?
Can you do January the 10th at 11:30?
oh boy. No, that won't work at all.
What about Wednesday, January 15th at 11:45?
Yeah, 11:45 on the 15th works.
Okay.
Okay, anything else or if not, you're all set?
Oh, thank you. Everybody have a pleasant day.
You too. Is anybody present for Christopher Williams? No. You said I got two. I just. Oh, where's the TV? Oh. You just realized what I said? Yes, it's like, it was like two homicides. Yeah, Attorney Nelson, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here on hold on one moment. Lorenzo DeMyers. If he joins, can I have a breakout room with him?
I don't see him on the docket. You have a case number or is he on it?
You have a case number?
Yes, 2105669801 FY.
You said 91?
9801.
9801.
Scheduled for exam on January 13th. No. Hold on. Oh. That's in Taylor, Judge Taylor.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Have a good day, Your Honor.
You too. Good to see you. Okay, Attorney Barrett, are you ready on Mr. Jetta?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Just give me a minute, I need to file. I'm sorry. Mark, I'm on the record. Yeah. You're on the record. Yeah. This is case 2461142, the people of state of Michigan versus Ahmad Jada, charged with count 1, homicide, murder, second degree, count 2, operating while intoxicated, causing death, count 3, reckless driving, causing death, count 4, failure to stop at scene of accident when at fault, resulting in death, count 5, operating while intoxicated, causing serious injury, count 6, reckless driving, causing serious impairment of a body function, count 7, failure to stop at scene of accident, resulting in serious impairment or death, count 8, operating while intoxicated, causing serious injury, count 9, reckless driving, causing serious impairment of a body function, count 10, failure to stop at scene of accident, resulting in serious impairment or death, count 11, operating while intoxicated, causing serious injury, count 12, reckless driving, causing serious impairment of a body function, count 13, failure to stop at scene of accident, resulting in serious impairment or death, set for a probable cause conference. Appearances?
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please this most honorable court, Attorney Brian J. Grego, P number 74568, appearing on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Hannah Barron, representing Mr. Jada. And Mr. Jada, can you state your name for the record?
Ahmad Jada.
Okay, you have discovery, Attorney Barron?
I do, yes.
Okay, you just need an exam date?
Yes, and we'd ask for an exam date the week of the 20th or later.
Any objection from the people?
No objections from the people.
Okay. Look at the 23rd, the 23rd. Is that Tuesday? For the 23rd, work?
Yes, it's true.
Yes.
23rd works for the people, Your Honor. I'd ask for a time later in the morning. I have a hearing at 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m. here at the Circuit Court.
How about 10:45?
That works for the people.
That works for me
Okay.
as well.
All right, so we'll do January 23rd at 10:45.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, I don't think this is actually a concern necessarily for Your Honor, but I still just wanted to bring it up before we talk to Mr. Jada's tether agent. But he was ordered to be released in this case on a GPS tether, and that's it. He has another case on which he was on a breathalyzer, an alcohol breathalyzer, and that will continue. But he was released with an alcohol tether, and I don't think that was anywhere in the court's order. So I just wanted to bring that up with the court and see if the court had any different information.
I have here that he is on a GPS tether that's unrestricted.
Okay, so we'll just try to clear that up with the tether agents then. Thank you.
Anything else for the people?
No, Your Honor. We'd ask that the bond conditions that Ms. Barron referenced would still be in place in terms of the alcohol tether, and that's for the companion case. And we'll take that up with the Circuit Court judge, I believe, on the 17th.
Okay.
No objection. And just for clarification, it's an alcohol breathalyzer that he's on in the other case, but no objection.
Nothing else.
Of course, saying on here, but of course, no alcohol.
Of course.
The bar
Yes.
Mr. Jada.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You have a good week.
Thanks.
Attorney Watt, good morning. I got it.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
1 second, Attorney Watt, give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm just emailed over to where? I can approve it. It's 234. It's Aliyah, Aliyah dot Sabree, Sape as in boy, RE. Okay, Attorney White, good morning. I am off the phone. Who do you have today?
I have the spot appointment that I received for Christopher Williams.
Wonderful. He's been waiting since Friday for somebody. Okay. I'm gonna put you on the breakout room.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, go ahead and hit join to speak to your new attorney.
Okay.
So the person named Coleman, can you unmute your device and state your name, please? So the person with the name Coleman, please unmute your device and state your name. Yeah, I just moved. People not responding. I'm gonna do this request. Attorney Watt, are you ready to go on the record?
Madam Clerk, I'm checking in on Vincent Ritchie.
I have you checked in, sir. Do you need to speak to your client before we go on the record?
Excuse me?
Do you need to speak to your client before we go on the record?
Yeah, if I could talk to my client.
Do you need to go into a breakout room before we go on the record?
Yes, if you would put me in a breakout room with him.
Is this the discovery that the prosecutor just sent me? I'm just curious.
I got it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay.
And I just sent you an email that contains the paper discovery.
Okay, perfect. I was just gonna ask for that. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie, go ahead and go into the breakout room so you can speak to your attorney.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
So yes, Your Honor, I am now ready to go on the record.
Okay.
Happy New Year, Your Honor.
Calling case 2406030, the people of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Williams. Defendant is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, weapons, felony, firearm. Count 3, domestic violence, second offense notice. Today is a habitual offender, third offense notice. Today is the date and time set for probable cause conference. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drain for the people, P number 60249.
And good morning, Your Honor. Coral Watt appearing on behalf of Christopher Williams, P 41508.
Mr. Williams, state your full name, please.
Christopher Allen Williams.
Thank you. Attorney Watt, I just heard you off the record. You do have discovery as of a couple minutes ago, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you ready to set the exam date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Madam Clerk will provide you some times.
It's January the 10th at 11:30.
No, I have 9 court cases on the 10th. This whole week is filled with cases. Sorry.
Okay.
Do you have anything available the following week, per chance?
Hold on 1 second. Let's do the 17th at 11:45. January 17th at 11:45.
Yes, that would work. Thank you.
Anything else for the record?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Williams, that's in person at 36 District Court, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
You're
you.
all set. You're welcome.
Have a good day, everyone.
You too, thank you.
All right,
You're all set, Mr. Williams.
thank you.
Attorney Washington, good morning.
Yes, good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Do you have Kenneth Dismute on your docket?
I do, and the prosecutor is also here.
Oh, okay.
What's your P number, Counselor?
It's 31383.
Yes.
Okay, have you had contact with your client?
He's in jail. He's
Oh,
locked up.
he's in lockup, okay.
Yeah, I haven't had contact just yet. I did receive the paper discovery. I'm not sure whether there was any digital discovery.
There is digital discovery. I'll get it to you today, Mr. Washington.
Okay, thank you very much.
You just need a date.
Yes, just need a date.
January the 10th at 11:45. I mean, at 11:30.
Fortunately, I am booked pretty solid these next 2 weeks. My earliest for an exam would be the 16th.
Hold on 1 second.
The 16th will be a good date for me.
1 second. And 16, no, the one right there. Well, if I'm gonna put it on there, it's not easy. Yeah. It's easy. It is? Oh, it is, you're right.
So that could go on. the 16th, okay.
January 16th at 10?
10 o'clock?
Yes.
That would be a good time.
Okay, anything else for the record?
That's all.
Nothing, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Breakout room.
Rich, we did breakout room, yeah.
That's why I'm looking for that.
That's right. I really- Let me get these first.
Madam Clerk,
Yes, Attorney
I'm
Margolis.
ready on Vincent Ritchie. We're just going to ask for an exam.
Okay, Madam Clerk, can just give you a date.
How about? Lord, January 10th at 11:30?
Were you talking to me?
Yes,
What did you ask me?
January 10th at 11:30?
January what, 5th?
10, 10.
Oh, 10. It was January 10th at
Yes, at
1:30.
11:30?
I have a restitution hearing in circuit court at 1:30 on the 10th.
So, let's do Wednesday, January the 22nd at 11:30.
January 22nd at 11:30.
Yeah, and make it 11:45.
Okay. And can the prosecutor sent me discovery last time, but I can't open any of the discovery up that they sent. So if they could just have some discovery for me when I show up on the 10th, I would appreciate it, because I'm not able to open up their link.
Miss Attorney Margolis, you can speak directly to the prosecutor about that issue with opening it up. She's on Zoom. You all want to go
Yeah,
to
I'm
breakout? I can put you on the breakout room.
Thank
Okay,
you.
put me on a breakout room and then we can call the case. And do we need to call the case, or we already have our date?
Talk privately.
You got your date already, you all set?
Okay, so you'll put me in the breakout room with the prosecutor right now?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Okay, so am I all set, Your Honor? So just to confirm, Your Honor, I have the exam date for January 22nd at 11:45.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you so much. You have a great day now.
You welcome, you as well.
Miss Jasmine?
Yes, how you doing?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good. I was trying to make sure I'm in the right courtroom.
I don't, what do you have going on?
I'm supposed to be here for, to show my judge that I'm about my community service for tickets. So it
Okay,
was here.
you're in the wrong courtroom. Is it, Judge King? Is that who you
Yes,
have? Okay, you
yes.
should be in courtroom 337.
Wait a minute, can you
So,
get the number? Wait a minute,
so
let me
you,
write it down.
okay,
So you know how you put the 360 number in there? The
Yes,
23, you're gonna change the 234 to 337.
okay. And the
To
rest
the
is
number
zero.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You say that one more time, the three numbers.
337.
337. Have a good day.
You too. All right, put us on mute. And court date today, he had a
Okay, those are about, oh, those are about, they're,
Why?
non-public, but, and then that top one is not even part of, that's not even the case. Oh. Good morning, how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well, Your Honor. I've got an exam scheduled at 1:30 today in your courtroom, Mr. Dwayne Carter, I believe.
That's January 30th,
That's January 30th.
in person, yes.
Okay. I need to file a motion to withdraw in that case. We've gotten a reconcilable conflict. The victim of the alleged murder is a client of NDS. So, do I need to make that a written filing?
If you could, it'd make it easier.
Okay, and just email that to the court?
Yep,
Okay, thank you. I will go ahead and get that done today.
okay.
Thank you.
Good morning from the Wayne County Jail.
Good morning. Did you still need a James Walters?
We do not, his exam was set for January 15th at 11:45 in person.
Do you still need a Kenneth Desmuke?
Nope.
January 16th at 10 a.m. in person for exam.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Oh, perfect. I didn't
Thank you. Hey, this is where the judge needs you, but I'm gonna let the judge talk to you first, okay? Just tell me. Good morning.
Mr. Glenn Lucas, what are you here for today, sir? Glenn Lucas?
Is he on mute?
He doesn't have audio. I'm just gonna message him. No. Mr. Lucas, can you hear court? Your audio is connected, but you're muted now. Oh, there you go. I can't hear you. I can't, but what I need to just tell you, your attorney already logged on. Your preliminary exam has been set for January 15th at 11:45 in person at 36th District Court. Do you know your attorney's name?
That side.
It's Attorney Finwall, Finwall. You can look him up on State Bar of Michigan to get his contact information. Finwall. You're welcome. I can't hear him, but I read the list. I'm like, what? I just see.
Go over there and stand right by your attorney. Don't sit down yet. All right. 36th District Court, State of Michigan City, Detroit is now in session. The Honorable Aliyah Sabree presiding.
You want me to have a seat? Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
This is case 2459617, the people of the state of Michigan versus Jarvis Butt. Charged with count 1, homicide, murder, first degree, premeditated. Count 2, child sexually abusive activity. Count 3, criminal sexual conduct, second degree, person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older. With habitual offender fourth offense notice, with a mandatory 25-year sentence set for a continuation of a preliminary examination that began on November 1st, 2024. Appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tina Ripley on behalf of the people, P83688.
And good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Makepeace on behalf of the people, P82796.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff. Neighborhood Defender Services by Ken Riggins, P82125 on behalf of Mr. Jarvis Woods.
Good morning, Your Honor. Neighborhood Defender Service by Cheryl Quick, P83973, also on behalf of Mr. Butts, together with co-counsel Lauren Butler.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Lauren Butler, P88126.
And Mr. Butts, state your full name loud and clear, please. Okay, you have a seat. Any preliminary matters before we begin the testimony?
No, Judge, not the people. I do know we have, I believe it was requested a mutual order of sequestration last time, with the exception of the officer in charge, Sergeant Shannon Jones, who's sitting in the courtroom. I would ask that continue today and the rest of this hearing.
Okay, we try. Okay, if there's anyone in the courtroom who may testify or is a witness on this case, that means that also if you may testify at trial, if this is bound over to Third Circuit, you must exit the courtroom now. This is being streamed live also, so if there's anyone on YouTube who is viewing this remotely, who may be a witness on this case, you must exit now and not watch the testimony that is about to occur. And of course, that's with the exception of the officer in charge. And with that, you can call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, people call Annette Harris.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, they nothing but the truth. Watch your step, walking up the stairs here. Whenever ready, Mr. Makepeace.
Thank you. Could you state your name for the record?
Annette Harris.
And Ms. Harris, do you know someone or did you know someone by the name of Neziah Harris?
Yes,
And who is Neziah to you?
my granddaughter.
Are you her legal guardian?
Yes, I am.
When did you become her legal guardian?
I adopted Neziah back in 2016.
And that was court work or paperwork filed and all of that to legally adopt her?
Yes, it took a process.
Oh.
Yes.
And back in January of 2024, did Neziah live with you?
Yes.
I don't want to know the specific address, but what street did you live on?
Bedford.
And is that in the city of Detroit, Wayne County?
Yes, it is.
How long had Neziah been living with you at that address on Bedford?
Oh, wow. Yeah, basically, I mean, ever since I had her, I mean.
Since 2016?
Well, we moved to another house.
Okay, when did you move into the Bedford?
Let's see, 2019, we moved in that house and then moved in the house that I am now, which is still on Bedford.
Okay. And did Naziah make those moves with you?
Yes.
And in January of 2024, at that Bedford location, who else lived there?
Just me, the kids. My other daughter lived with me at the other address. But it was just basically me and my kids and Shannon.
And who is Shannon?
My daughter.
And what's her last name?
Harris.
And she lived with you and Naziah and the other kids at the Bedford location?
At the first Bedford location.
Okay, at that first Bedford location, how many other kids in addition to Naziah lived there?
My other two, my grandson and my other grandchildren.
Oh, so how many kids total in that house?
6 children.
And you and Shannon, correct?
Well,
living there.
Shannon, she was there, but she wasn't really like there all the time.
Oh.
She would spend most majority of her time at my house, but actually Shannon had her place out in Clinton Township.
And when you were there in January of 24, how old was Naziah at that time?
January 24, she had 13. She had her birthday in September.
And was she going to school?
Yes, she was.
What school did she attend?
J.E. Clark Preparatory Academy.
And is that also in Detroit?
Yes, it is.
Just generally, can you tell us about your morning routine with the kids, specifically Naziah, so getting them to school and things like that?
Sure. Okay. 6 a.m. That's when I get the children up. They usually get up, get dressed, prepare themselves. About 7:15, 7:20, we're basically saying prayer and we're loading up in the car. I'm dropping them off at school at 7:30. Breakfast starts at 7:30, and they like to eat breakfast at school.
And does that include Naziah? You would drop her off at J.E.
All together, yes.
Now, I want to talk about, let me ask it this way. Did you know someone by the name of Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
And do you see Mr. Butts in the courtroom today? If you need to stand up and look around. You need glasses?
Yeah, my
Okay.
daughter has my glasses.
Okay, Judge, may I take a moment to get her glasses?
Yes.
May I first mention?
Yes.
Thank you.
If you could just stand up and take another look around.
Okay.
Do you see Mr. Butts in the courtroom today? Could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing that he's wearing? For the record, the witness has identified Jarvis Butts, the defendant in this matter.
So reflective.
And may I approach the witness again?
Yes.
I'm approaching with what's already been admitted as People's 9. Ms. Harris, do you recognize the person in that photo?
Yes.
And who is that person?
Jarvis Butts.
And is that the same person you've identified in court here today?
Yes.
And Ms. Harris, how did you know Mr. Butts back in January of 2024?
He's the father of my daughter's children.
And is that daughter Shannon Harris?
Yes,
Okay. How many kids did they have together?
5.
And would he come around your house on Bedford in January or the months leading up to January?
Whenever he did come, he would always pull up in a white truck, and Shannon would go out to the car and they would sit and talk or whatever, but he would very rarely come in my house.
And during that time, when he would come around and sit in his car, was there any times that he would interact with Messiah that you saw?
Not that I remember now.
Okay. Now I want to talk specifically about January 9th. You had described your morning routine with the kids. Did you follow that routine on January 9th?
Yes, I did.
And did that include dropping Messiah off at J.E. Clark, 7:15 to 7:30?
Yes.
And can you tell us what she was wearing on January 9th, 2020?
Yes, she was wearing a pair of light powdered blue jeans with a light powdered blue jacket that had the black little fur around the collar. It was like a 2-piece set.
And did she have a sweater on or a shirt on or something?
She had a shirt. She wore a shirt underneath it.
And you remember, did she have any other clothes with her on the 9th when you dropped her off?
She had her little blue sweatshirt with a little hoodie. She had that with her.
And do you know how or when she got that hoodie?
I bought that hoodie for her. I guess it was in a ball sometime. I bought it when I heard it. I mean, it wasn't nothing new. It was just one of her old hoodie jackets she used when she go to gym.
Okay. And in terms of, if you know, the condition of that hoodie on the 9th, was it torn, ripped, damaged in any way?
No, no, it was fairly good. Like, kind of like still new, but she took pretty good care of her face.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
May I approach you?
Yes.
Approaching with People's Proposed Exhibit 12. Ms. Harris, do you recognize what I just handed you?
Yes.
And is that a picture of Messiah?
Yes.
And do you know when that picture was taken?
The same day, January the 9th, she took this picture.
Oh, move to admit People's Proposed 12.
Objection.
No objection.
We can admit as people as well.
And when you dropped Messiah off at J.E. Clark, what was the routine supposed to be after school was over?
Okay, well, school was over, the bell rings at 2:40. Messiah was due to come home. Normally, when the bell rings, 2:40, 2:45, she's getting on the bus.
And was that's what she normally did on other days?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
And
yes.
what time would she normally arrive back at home?
The designer would be walking in through the door, maybe 3:05, no later than that.
And on January 9th, did she walk in at 3:05?
No, she did not.
And were you home when she didn't come home?
I was there for a little while, but I left out to run some errands. But no, when I got to the house, she was not there.
And at that time, did you have a conversation with someone else about her not coming home? Was I not coming home?
Yeah, when I picked my children up from the after school program, I went in and my daughter said.
Objection to what her daughter said. Hearsay.
I'll rephrase the question.
Okay, so thank
Just talking about what you saw and heard, and not asking for what anybody said, but did you talk to Shannon, your daughter?
Yes,
about
Shannon said she was not there.
Okay. When you got home that day on the 9th, was Messiah there?
No.
And did you eventually make a police report about her missing?
Yes, I did. Yes,
And when did you do that?
That morning, when I got to school, I went up to drop the kids off to school. I talked with the, dean, and the principal. And, I told them that I was on my way, to the police station. And they told me that they would call the police, and the police, DPS police came there.
And you said DPS, is that Detroit Public Schools?
Yes,
And did you talk to an officer, at that time at the school?
yes, I did.
And was that at J.E. Clark physically at that location?
Yes,
And you said that morning, are you talking about the morning of the 10th?
yes.
Was Naziah, active on social media, if you know?
Well, as far as I know, she was, I mean, there were times that she was sneaking on and, you know, but yeah, she was.
Okay, and did you keep track of her social media pages like TikTok or Facebook or anything like that?
I tried, a lot of times, you know, I would take her phone and stuff with her, you know, so, you know, to keep her from being on there, you know.
And after the 9th, did you ever see any posts made by Naziah?
I didn't see any posts. Most of the time, you know, if there was a post or something, or she posts, my daughter or someone would call me and tell me.
Have you ever heard after the 9th, ever heard any communication or seen Naziah? When, is that a no?
No.
And when you dropped her off on the 9th at school at J.E. Clark, was that the last time you saw her?
Yes.
May I have one moment, George?
Yes.
Just to follow up, I did forget to ask this, her bus stop, how far from your house was that in walking distance?
5 minutes.
And do you know where the location that she got dropped off at was, the address or the intersection?
Right there, the 3 Mile Drive in Cornwall.
And that's 5 minutes from your house?
Yeah.
And did Naziah have any nicknames that people called her?
Where her family called her, Tilly. But I've always called her Glamorous. I've been calling her ever since she was born.
Is it Glamour?
Glamorous.
Oh. May I have one moment, Judge?
Yes. You said Tuna?
Tilly. Mm-hmm.
I have another question.
Good morning.
And you are Naziah's maternal grandmother, correct?
Correct.
You're also her adopted parent, correct?
Correct.
And you said you adopted her in 2016?
Yeah, children, yeah, 16.
Okay. Is her birth mother still around?
She is.
Okay, does she have a relationship with her?
No.
She doesn't have any type of relationship, no contact with her that you know of?
Well, let me say this, I don't deal with my daughter, so she really didn't have really no contact with Naziah like that. She only came around now and then.
And you testified that you currently stay on Bedford Street?
Yes.
And in fact, I think you testified you live on 2 houses on Bedford Street.
Correct.
And did not Naziah have friends on Bedford Street that you were aware of?
She had friends, but her friends didn't live on Bedford.
Okay. Do you know if she ever had any friends over?
No.
Did she ever spend the night at any of these friends' houses?
No.
And at your prior neighborhood, did she have friends that she may have spent the night over?
No.
You indicated that there are approximately 6 children in the house.
Well, not now. When he asked me about the address.
Yes.
I lived at 2 houses, which is on the same street with Bedford.
Okay.
Okay, so the house that we lived in before, it was my children and my daughter's children.
Your daughter being Shannon?
No, Marquita.
Marquita, okay. And did Naziah have any close relationship with any of these children particularly?
She was close with, my granddaughter, one of my granddaughters, yeah.
Which granddaughter is that?
Desire, I mean, United. All of their names are similar.
Okay. And Janiyah is Shannon's daughter?
Yes.
That would be Jarvis's daughter as well, correct?
Correct.
And at your Bedford Street address, how many adults live there?
Just me and Shannon.
Okay. When did Shannon?
I'm sorry.
When did Shannon move in to Bedford?
Oh. Back in October, that's October or something.
That would be October of 23?
Yeah.
Okay. So in January of 24, she was there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, is that a yes? No?
Yes, yes.
And you indicated that Naziah participated in social media?
She did participate in social media. She was on social media a lot of times when she wasn't supposed to be.
Okay. So did you see her post or did you follow her post?
I didn't see her really posted anything. I mean, at times when I did check, I didn't find anything.
Okay.
And most of the time when she did post something, my daughter's leaving. If she posted something.
So you don't know who her social media friends were?
The only person that I know that was one of her classmates that she would post little things with one of her classmates.
But it's fair to say there are some things you did not know.
Yeah, well, some, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, you indicated that you drove Naziah to school every day, correct?
Correct.
Who else went to school with Naziah?
My other two children, Shannon's children.
Okay. And what type of student was Naziah?
Naziah was a very good student, very mindful, very outgoing. She got good grades. Her attendance was good. The teachers had no problem with her. They really liked Naziah. Naziah got along with just about anybody. She was very likable.
Did she have any disciplinary problems?
No.
Do you recall her ever getting into a fight?
She did.
One fight, more than one fight?
There was a young lady that she had a couple of, consultations with in school. And it was like an ongoing situation.
Okay. And when did this first start?
I'm not quite sure when it started, but it was like off and on, with this particular schooling that she had.
And this is for her current school, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did Naziah participate in any extracurricular activities? Was she on band or anything?
She liked it, gym, robotics, art. I mean, she liked a lot of things that she was involved in.
And would any of these things cause her to have stayed after school?
The only time she stayed after school is when she wanted to be enrolled in the after school program.
Just a moment. just want to step back a moment. We asked you about her social media. You said there were some things that you weren't aware of on social media, correct? Did you ever check her direct messages?
Like I said, I did, but when I did, there was nothing on there.
There was nothing. Okay. Did you monitor any of her conversations?
Yeah, I would, go check,
Okay.
But like I said, a lot of times, I took an advice habit, from her, at one point, so there was really nothing that I knew of that she was on unless she got somebody's cell phone or something,
So you did mention that she had a tablet. How many devices did she have that allowed her to connect to social media?
She only had that one tablet in my recall. Like I said, I took the tablet and put that tablet up.
So on January 9th, you took her to school, correct?
Correct.
And you said it was her and two of your other children that went to the same
My
school?
two other children and daughter's children.
And you said that you noticed that she did not come home at her normal time.
Right.
All right. You did not call the police then, correct?
No, driving around and looking for her. My daughter reached out to some of her classmates. I did, nothing. And that morning, I got up, and like I said, I went straight to the school. And from there, I was on my way to the police station to make the report, and they called the police from there. DPS police came to the school.
So the first report you made to the police was the next morning?
Yes.
Do you know approximately what time?
I got there, school starts at 7:30, so I got there at 7:30. They got there about, I don't know, maybe 8.
So you didn't go to the precinct, you went to the school, in the school hall?
Yes, they called the police because I was really ready to leave, and the dean said, no, stay here. She said, we'll call the police.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you are familiar with Mr. Butts, correct?
I know Mr. Butts.
Okay, and he dated your daughter Shannon, correct?
Correct.
They did have 5 children, correct?
Correct.
And the children, did all the children stay with you and Shannon?
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to give too much detail on the kids. What were the mix of boys and girls?
Can you repeat that?
What were the mix of the kids, boys and girls?
Well, I have a boy and girl, and Shannon has her 3 boys and her 2 girls.
So she had 3 boys and the 2 girls. Okay. And at any time, now I think you did indicate that Mr. Butts would come over and I think you said he would rarely come in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But he would come in on occasion, correct?
Not really on occasions, because most of the time when he came in, he would pull up in my driveway and my daughter would go out to the truck, and a lot of times the kids would go out to the truck. So it was very rare if he ever came in my house.
And you indicated that you were close with Naziah?
Yes.
Can you think of any reason that Naziah would not share information with you?
No, Naziah would come to me and talk to me all the time. If something was bothering her, or if she had a bad day in school, she'll come to me and we'll sit and talk about it. I always kept the door open for communication with Naziah and with really all of my children. So she always felt free, come to me and sit down and talk to me about whatever.
So if something was frustrating Naziah, she would come with you? If
She
something,
would, that I know of, yes.
all right, if something was scaring Isaiah, she would come to you.
If something was bothering her or she was frustrated about something, she would come to me and say, hey, man, can I talk to you?
If there was any medical condition, she would come to you regarding that.
I believe she would, yes.
You take her to the hospital, take her to the doctor.
Yes.
Okay. Just a moment. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Can you redirect?
Ms. Harris, I just have a couple more questions for you. When Mr. Reagan was asking you questions, you said that Mr. Butts would come and sit in his car, right, outside your house?
Yes.
And you said that the kids would go and out to the car.
Yes.
Which kids would go out to the car?
His kids.
Would Isaiah ever go with his kids out to the car?
If Shannon was out there, she would.
Oh. And Mr. Reagan also asked you about the tablet that you bought for Isaiah.
Yes.
Remember those questions?
Yes.
And when, if you can remember, narrow that down, when did you buy that tablet for?
I got that tablet for her one Christmas. I think it was I think it was in 22 when I bought that tablet, at the end of 22 when I bought that tablet for her.
So December of 22?
Yeah, I think when I bought that tablet.
So she would have had that tablet for roughly just over a year, correct?
Correct.
Oh. And did Isaiah also have access to a cell phone?
The only cell phone she had access to was one of the cell phones when my oldest daughter came to visit me. She gave to Isaiah, but she could only use it by Wi-Fi.
You said your oldest daughter, is that Isaiah's biological mother?
Yes.
Oh, and through, what's your oldest daughter's name?
Kenya Harris.
Through Kenyatta Harris, Isaiah got access to a phone?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Mr. Reagan's also asked you about Isaiah staying after school. You said that there was an after-school program she was involved in?
Yes.
On January 9th and in January of 24, was she still involved in that program?
No, I took her out of it because she was having problems with one of her schoolmates at that time. The same person that he asked me about before, but she didn't get along.
The same person Mr. Reagan's asked you about?
Absolutely.
And so on the 9th, she was not supposed to stay after school, correct?
No, she was supposed to come straight.
And when she didn't come home, you said that you were driving around looking for her, correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what efforts you made on the 9th to locate her?
When I went to the school to go pick my son and daughter up because they were also in the after school program, picked them up, went back to the house. I thought she was there. And when I got to the house and I found out that she wasn't there, I got back in the car and I went back up to the school. And by that time, nobody was there. Nobody was at the school. So now, I'm kind of like, I'm frustrated. Now I'm going like, because whenever she wants to stay after school or do something, she would always call me, hey, man, can I stay after school? Or she would call one of her TTs, hey, TT, can I stay after school? So that wasn't like her, so I'm really frustrated now. So now I go back to the house and I'm talking to my daughter, Shannon.
I don't want to stop you right there because I don't want to go into what anybody else said.
Okay.
But you went back to the school, nobody was at the school, you went back to the house, Isaiah is still not there, correct?
Correct.
Did you go back out looking for her after that?
I did.
Oh, where did you go?
I was driving around in the neighborhood, everywhere, I'm just looking, just like hoping I'll see him, you know?
Yeah, one more, Judge. In, on the 9th, when you were looking for her, well, let me ask it this way. Did you know Nasiah to go to Mr. Butts' place of work to assist him with anything there?
Yes, there was a couple of times that, she went with his daughter and they went up there to go, clean up in the shop.
And how would they get it? If you remember?
He would come and pick them up.
And was that in that white truck that you talked about earlier?
Yes. Mhm.
And did you yourself know where Mr. Butts worked at?
Yes.
Okay, do you know where is that?
It was Frank's, shop located on, East Warren.
And is that the last place that you knew him to work? Or did you know he worked somewhere else?
I knew him to work there and then, the shop moved to a different location.
Did you know where that new location was?
Personally, no.
Okay. And did you ever, on the 9th, did you ever try and go to Mr. Butts' place of work to look for his son?
On the 9th, no.
Nothing further, Justin.
Just heard they're done testifying. Watch your step. Okay.
Judge, first, I would like to move for the admission of both proposed exhibits 15 and 16 pursuant to MRE 8036. They are certified records of text mail messages. Exhibit 15 is messages from September 24th, 2022 through November 7th, 2022. And Exhibit 16 is messages from March 4th, 2023 through January 9th of 2024.
No objection for exam purposes, pending analysis under 403, assuming that they're relevant.
Okay, so be a minute. That's people just give it 15 and 16, you said?
Yes, that's right. And at this time, people will call Shannon Harris.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Watch your step, please. Have a seat. Everybody,
Thank you, Judge. Good morning. Could you please state your name for the record?
Shannon Harris.
And Ms. Harris, how old are you?
31.
And back on January, or in January 2024, where did you live?
With my mom. Besides with my mother.
With your mother? Okay, who's your mom?
And then Harris.
And without telling me the exact address, what street did you live on?
Yeah.
And do you have any children?
Yes.
How many kids do you have?
5.
And do all your kids have the same dad?
Yes.
Who's their dad?
Jarvis Butts.
And do you see Jarvis Butts in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And can you point to him and tell me the color of the clothing that he's wearing?
Green. Green.
Green. Your Honor, would the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant in this case?
So reflected.
Thank you, Judge. And you said your mom's name is Annette. Do you have any sisters?
Yes, 2.
What are their names?
Kenyatta Harris and Marquita Harris.
Are they older, younger, something else?
Older. Marquita is a twin. She's my twin, same age.
Okay. And Kenyatta is older?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any nieces and nephews?
Yes.
Do you know someone named Neziah Harris?
Yes.
What's your relationship to her?
My relationship to her, she is my niece and her aunt.
Okay. And whose daughter is she?
My older sister is Kenyatta Harris.
And did you have any nicknames for Neziah?
Yes. We all call her Tudda.
And is that Tudda?
Yes.
And did Neziah ever know Jarvis through you?
Yes.
Okay. And when did Neziah and Jarvis first meet?
When she was little, like age 2.
And can you kind of describe the relationship between Neziah and Jarvis?
Should be just the uncle and the niece relationship, no more than that.
How often would Jarvis be around, like at your house with you?
He will call or say, can he come see the kids, or the kids will ask him to see their dad, and he will come pull up either to my house where I used to live or at my mother's.
Would Neziah ever be around?
All the kids will be around.
To your knowledge, would Neziah ever text Jarvis?
From my knowledge, no, unless I will have her to text.
But to your knowledge, you didn't know of any kind of separate outside relationship?
No.
Would there ever be times where, where did you know Jarvis Butts to work?
Pardon?
Where did you know Jarvis Butts to work?
Where did I know him to work at?
Yes.
He worked at 2 different locations. The first location would be on East Warren, and the other location would be on Gresham.
And what were those locations?
Those are the auto repair shop.
Okay. Would you ever know Neziah to help Jarvis Butts at his shop?
Yes, we will call me and say, hey, if I can get our daughter and Neziah, I'm gonna work up at the shop. And I would say, let me ask my mom first regarding Neziah.
And which daughter of yours would that be?
That would be my oldest, Janiyah.
Would you ever know Neziah to go to Jarvis's shop alone?
No.
Whose birthday is on or around September of 26?
That's my oldest, my 4th oldest birthday.
Do you recall a birthday party on September 26th of 2022?
Yes.
Okay. And was Jarvis there?
No.
Okay. And that would have been his son's birthday party?
Yes.
Were there ever times that you would text Jarvis off of a text now number?
The only time I would text Jarvis off the text now number is if my phone is off. Other than that, no.
And do you recall the numbers that you would text Jarvis from?
Yes.
Okay. And does a 586-510-5161 sound familiar?
Yes.
And what number is that?
That used to be my old number.
And is that number that you would text Jarvis from?
Yes.
And what about a 586-842-4504?
That was the number before this number.
before the 510 number?
Correct,
Okay, and is that a number you would also text Jarvis from?
correct.
And what number did you have for Jarvis Fox?
The 313-585-8719.
And did you have any numbers for Nizaya?
It was a funny looking area code. The area code was a 231.
Okay. I want to show you some messages from People's Exhibit 16 and ask you some questions about them, okay? You're in a man approach? Yes. I'm going to direct you to messages on or about June 27th, 2023. Do you recall those messages? Did you send any of those messages to Jarvis Fox?
No.
Okay. And do you know phone number here that's highlighted? Whose phone number do you know that to be?
Jarvis Fox.
Okay, and you don't recall ever sending any of those messages?
No.
Okay. And now I want to direct you to messages from June 28th, 2023. How about any of these? Did you send any of these to Jarvis Fox?
No.
What about any messages from July 2nd, 2023? Did you send any of those messages?
No.
What about messages from August 26th, 2023? Send any of those to Jarvis Fox?
I'm sorry, you said 26.
August 26th.
No. These are my messages.
Did Jarvis Fox ever tell you that Nizaya texted him to meet up on January 9th, 2024?
No.
Did you tell Jarvis Fox about not being able to locate Nizaya on January 9th, 2024?
Yes.
And tell me, how did you tell him that?
I called him, he didn't answer. I sent him a message asking him had he seen Twitter in the whereabouts. And he said no Twitter, and he responded back.
I didn't hear what you said, the last part.
I texted him, well, first I called him, he didn't answer. The second time I sent him a message, still no Twitter. He replied back, oh, wow.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
And just for record references, I'm showing her what's going to be proposed, People's Exhibit 48. Ms. Harris, those text messages that you just referenced, do you see those on this page?
Yes.
And so it's fair to say you stated to Mr. Butts, well, first of all, whose phone number is this at the top?
The phone number is my old phone number.
Okay, and who is the phone number below that?
Jarvis Butts.
Okay. And is this, I guess, is this fairly accurately represent these two messages? Six messages sent between you and Mr. Butts on January 9th, 2024 through January 11th, 2024.
The first page is, yes, it's correct. Second page is correct. Yes.
And so on January 9th, like you had indicated before, you had stated that you told them that there was still no touch.
Correct.
Okay, and you said he responded, oh, wow.
Correct.
And on January 11th, is I still missing?
Yes.
Okay, and did you ask Mr. Butts to do something?
Yeah. At this point, I just asked that if she's going to read from the text message, just initiated.
No, Judge. It is fairly inaccurately represent text messages between you and your phone to Jarvis and his phone between, let's start back. Some from December 3rd, 2023 through January 21st of 2024. These fairly inaccurately represent text messages between you and your phone to Mr. Butts and his phone.
Yes.
Your Honor, the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 48. No objection.
Thank you.
Thank you. So on January 11th, did you ask Mr. Butts to do something?
Yes.
And what is it that you asked him to do?
I asked him, can he share the missing flyer on his Facebook page?
Okay, and did you send him a copy of that missing flyer?
Yes.
Okay. And to backtrack just a little bit, on December 3rd, 2023, do you recall sending messages asking Mr. Butts if he needed the Zion correct?
Yes, I do remember.
Okay. So do you remember this text on the first page of People's Exhibit 48?
Yes, I do remember this message.
Okay, and did you send that message?
Yes.
Okay, and what did the message say?
To the said, do you still need her? To,
Okay, and do you know what, where's that referring to?
it was, Tilla had asked me to contact Jarvis and see if he still needed them.
That would be to clean up his shop?
Yes.
Okay. And to fast forward, on January 21st, 2024, you sent some messages to Mr. Butts, is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay, and can you read these last three messages?
These three messages is, to be honest, these messages have seen into the inbox to you. I really don't know what to believe anymore. Still, Ray Ramon, I mean it. The next message is, I don't know what to say, or Tilla is since this shit doesn't sit right with me, call it what you want, I'm good, period. It says, this for life. Nigga, I thought about it, and you can pass it. And don't call me, no need to explain shit. I already see it.
Okay, so you were referencing some messages that you saw in Tana's inbox.
Correct.
Tell me, how did you see some messages? First of all, where are these messages, where were they at?
The day of, Officer Gardner came to pick up Nazaya's tablet. My mom asked me to put it on the charger. I put it on the charger. Officer Gardner, well, after that, Officer Gardner called and said she's on her way.
Objection, this is hearsay.
Without saying what.
Okay, I'm sorry. The officer had called and said that they was on their way. to
Still hearsay.
The tablet.
Okay, so,
Sustain, as far as hearsay.
yeah, thank you, Judge. Okay, continue.
So the tablet, before the tablet was picked up, I looked inside to the tablet. She has 2 passwords that I normally know. So one of them is referenced for her brother's birthday, and the other one is referenced for my password. So I put the first password in, it didn't work. So I put the second password in. So the first thing I went to was Instagram, which I was scrolling. And I seen Jarvis Buck's Instagram page. I clicked on his page and I seen 2 messages.
Okay, and what were the messages that you saw? Who were they between, first of all?
Nazaya, my niece, and Jarvis.
Okay, and what were the messages that you see?
It was roughly 2 messages that I have seen that I can recall. States.
I'm gonna object to this as hearsay. They have not been admitted, and the messages themselves would be the evidence.
Were they of any, were the messages of a sexual nature?
No.
Okay, and you said you saw 2 messages?
Yes.
Okay, did you see anything else?
It was 2 sent pictures, but you can't really make anything out. There wasn't nothing there, but it was a picture was sent.
Okay. What did seeing those messages, what did they cause you to do?
Well, when I see no messages, I called him.
Who's that?
Jarvis Butts.
Okay.
Called him while he was at work, asked him, what is these messages I seen between you and my niece? And he said, what messages? Said it's 2 particular messages that states out in this picture. And he stated that, I don't know, these messages, I told him what the messages were. And he said it was probably our children's messaging. And I stated no, because I know how our children will text.
Okay. And reading those messages, is that what caused you to text
Mr. Butts?
Mr.
Yes.
Butts, in that you've seen the messages in the inbox and you don't really know what to believe anymore?
Correct.
Okay. So, Sharon, I want to take you back to January 9th. Were you home that day?
Yes.
Okay, and did you see Naziah that day?
I seen her just that morning, correct.
Okay, and do you remember what she was wearing at all?
Her coat and her uniform at the time, she had on some blue jeans. I don't really recall the outfit. I just know the coat.
Okay. She had on. And what was the coat that she had on?
She had on is a 90s coat with all the characters on it.
Okay. And you recall seeing her wearing that the morning of January 9th?
Correct.
And Your Honor, may I approach, we'll already admit it, exhibit 2?
Yes.
I'm going to show you was exhibit 2. You tell me, do you recognize a coat in this photo?
Yes.
And whose coat do you recognize that?
Naziah's.
Okay. Now, after you were. When you saw Naziah that morning, what did you do the rest of the morning?
Nothing. I was at home with my mom and my 2 children.
And do you ever leave the house at any point that day?
No, I was at the house the whole entire day.
And, do you know what time Nazai would normally get home from school?
On certain days, she will stay for after school, and then on certain days she will come home. The day she will stay for after school is 6. And the days that she don't, is at 3 o'clock.
And on January 9th, do you know if Nazai had the after-school program?
Yes, at that time, my mom took her out of the after-school program. So she will come home directly at 3 o'clock.
Okay, and were you home at 3 o'clock?
Yes,
And did you see Nazai come home?
no,
Okay. And did you see her come home at all the rest of the night?
no,
Okay. Did you leave at any point after 3 o'clock?
no.
Did you, yes, when Nazai didn't come home, did that cause you to experience or feel any type of way?
It did, when she didn't come home is when my mom went to go pick up the other 2 children from the after school program. They knocked on the door and, they had asked a question and said.
Objection, sounds like you're saying.
You have a response or?
A question isn't hearsay. I
think she said.
Just a question?
I believe she was getting ready to say a question. Okay.
What was the question?
The 2 children had asked me, mom said, did you,
That's the hearsay.
did Isaiah come home?
The hearsay is mom said.
Okay, so were you asked directly whether Nazai came home?
So my mom was still in the car, I was inside the house. They was coming to the house, walking up to the door. When I opened the door, they asked me, mom said, did Isaiah come home? I said, no.
And was Nazai home at all?
No.
Okay. And, did you do any sort of looking for Nazai that night?
Yes.
What did you do?
I called my twin sister. I called some of her friends that I know that stays close by. If they had seen Isaiah, heard from Isaiah and everything. And when I reached out to my sister, she said no. Her friend said no. So after that, I asked my mom, and she wanted me to call police. She said no, she will take it up in the morning.
Tammy, did you know, Nazai to have, a pair of red and black Nike shoes?
Yes.
And if I showed you a picture of them, you'd be able to identify them.
Yes.
Partner, may I approach? Yes. And for the record, this is going to be from People's Proposed Exhibit 14, and it'll be picture 34. Do you recognize these shoes?
Yes, that's a pair of shoes that my mom bought for Tool Perfect.
Now, back on the 9th, you said your mom was going to file a police report in the morning.
Sure.
Okay, did you go with her to file a police report in the morning?
No, it was my older sister.
Okay. Did you do anything on the 10th as it relates to trying to find Isaiah?
Yes, we went out, I and some others went out to go get some pictures, made copies. We went to other stores, passed out flyers and everything that we need to do. Now, what was asked of us to do.
And, since January 9th, 2024, have you seen Messiah?
No,
Have you, since January 9th, 2024, have you heard from Messiah?
no.
Nothing further at this time, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Harris, I'll ask some questions. You and Mr. Butts have been, or you've known him for about 12 years?
Correct.
And fair to say that you were in a dating relationship with him most of that time? But towards the end, like last year, it was more off and on, fair to say?
No, it was on and off for years.
For years, okay. But you have 5 children with him?
Correct.
And this relationship that you had with him, even towards the end when it was on, it was a sexual relationship, right?
Correct.
Sometimes you go to a motel to have sex with him?
Correct. Yes.
And that motel was the Park Rest Inn?
Sure.
There was more than one?
Yes.
Okay. But one of them was the Park Rest? Said yes?
Correct.
And then that's in Harper Woods?
Correct.
On Harper?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know if Mr. Butts, or do you suspect that Mr. Butts has taken other women to those motels also?
Correct.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I believe you said that you have, of your 5 children with him, 2 are girls?
Yes.
And 3 are boys?
Correct.
And in January of this time, well, January 2023, you were living with your mother on Bedford, correct?
Correct.
Prior to that, were you living in Clinton Township?
Correct.
When did you leave the Clinton Township home and move to the Bedford home?
October 23.
So there were times when you were in Clinton Township that Mr. Butts would travel out there to see the kids?
Correct.
And then when you moved to the Bedford address, he would go to the Bedford address to see the kids?
Correct.
And then the Bedford address is when Messiah was also living there, correct?
Correct.
And I believe you just testified that on January the 9th, you were living at that house on Bedford, and you were there during the day.
Correct.
And so were you one of the first people that realized that Messiah did not come home when she was expected to be home?
No, I didn't realize it until I had got a question by the other kids that asked that I have Messiah came home yet, or have, and I said no.
Do you remember what time that was in the afternoon?
That was in the evening. My mom picked them up 6 o'clock.
So that was about 3 hours later than she normally should have been home?
Correct.
Was that surprising?
Yes, it was. One, we thought that she was at the after school program. But it didn't dawn on no one until my mom came back to the house and she wasn't here, or she wasn't in the car when they had gotten her.
So when you all realized that she wasn't at school and she wasn't at home, was that surprising?
Yes.
But you didn't go to the police that night?
No.
She ever not returned home previously?
No, this is her first time ever doing this.
Did she have friends in the neighborhood that she would go visit?
Yes.
And you said, are those the folks that you contacted to ask?
Yes.
We're just shown a pair of red and black Nike shoes, right?
Right.
And you identified those shoes as being Messiah's shoes. Is that correct?
Correct.
It's a shoe that looks like the shoe that Messiah is wearing, right?
Correct.
You can't say for sure that that exact
Yes.
shoe came from Messiah, is that fair to say?
Correct.
And I think you testified that very rarely would you ever use text now to contact Mr. Butts.
Right.
Only if your phone was turned off.
Right.
And that was not very often.
Right.
Would Messiah ever have access to your phone to use it?
Yes, like she would ask, hey, TT, can I see your phone? Sure, I wouldn't mind, yes.
And so would she text from that phone?
Probably, yes.
Did you ever notice any text from
No.
her on your phone?
No.
Did you ever notice that she had used your Text Now app?
No, the only time when, I would notice something is say if me and Jarvis would, we won't be on the same page, me and I, and I will call him and say, why you will call me, or like, why you continue to keep calling me? And I'll say, I haven't called you all day work, or in 2 days. And I will go ask my kids, like, hey, are y'all calling your dad, because I haven't called him.
Okay. And until you looked in Messiah's Instagram account, did you ever notice anything on your phone that caused you to be concerned between Messiah and Mr. Butts?
No.
Mr. Buttsby said would come to the house to see his kids. He would drop them off at the house sometimes. He would take them places.
Yes.
He would pick Janiyah up from there.
Like he, depending on like if he will pick up the kids, if I need him to pick up the kids from the pick up or drop off spot, for school, he will do that, yeah.
And then take them either to Clinton Township when you lived there, or to the Bedford Street address?
Correct.
Okay. But most times he wouldn't even come to the house, right?
He will come to the house, he will call me first before he will come.
Would he come into the house physically, or would he sit in his truck outside?
50%. He will sit in the car and wait till the kids come outside, or he will knock on the door.
Okay. Would he be in the house for any length of time?
Only if I'm inside the house.
Like he was visiting with you?
Yes.
Okay. So you never knew a time that Mr. Butts would have been alone in the house with Messiah?
No.
Can't think of a time when he had been in the house and had gone down to the basement with her?
No.
Or any other room in the house alone?
No.
Would Mr. Butts have ever been at that house if another adult, like you or your mother, weren't there?
He will, what you said.
Would Mr. Butts ever be at the house if you or your mother weren't there?
No, it will be me or another person.
The idea that anything was going on between Mr. Butts and Messiah is shocking to you, right?
Correct.
You had no idea.
No.
You never noticed anything between Messiah and Mr. Butts that made you concerned?
No.
You never saw any inappropriate behavior?
Not at all.
You didn't notice Mr. Butts paying any special attention to her?
No.
Certainly if you had noticed that, that would have caused you concern.
Yeah, they would have raised a whole bunch of red flags.
Likely you wouldn't have invited him into the house, correct?
Correct.
You found it hard to believe even that Mr. Butts would hurt Messiah.
But I won't know, I don't know, what he will do if a person's back is up against the wall.
But the thought of that was hard for you, at least at one point, to believe, correct?
Sure.
Now, during the time that you and Mr. Butts were together, he had children with other women.
Correct.
Pretty consistently with other women.
Correct.
More than one woman.
Correct.
Some of those women you actually knew about, correct? They lived kind of even in the same neighborhood on the east side. But you suspect that there were women that you didn't know about?
Correct.
Even one that lived, or more than one that lived over on the west side?
Correct.
You believe he was going out there to see somebody around the end of 2023, January 2024?
Correct.
Before January the 9th, you had a conversation with Naziah about a location on Outer Drive in Belfort?
Yes.
And that was surprising to you, right?
Correct.
That's on the east side of Detroit?
Yes.
Did you end up giving her directions on how to get to that location?
Yes.
Why did you give her directions?
I was just getting out the shower and just getting myself together. She asked me, she said, "Hey, TT," she said, "where is Belford and Outer Drive?" And I told her, I said, "You know exactly where Belford and Outer Drive at?" I said, "Outer Drive is right where the wine basket at," and I said, "You know where Belford is?" And she was like, "I get Balfour and Bedford mixed up." So I said, "You already know Balfour is before Bedford." So she said, "Okay." She said, "Because we are in school and we are learning about our surroundings." So I said, "Okay." But that was the only two things that she had asked, was where was my job in Balfour.
Does that location have any special significance to you?
No.
Do you know anybody at that location?
No, the only thing that I'm used to, I'm familiar with is just picking up Jarvis out of Drive in Belfort. It's just on the corner.
On the corner?
Mhm.
Not at an address?
Not an address.
When was this conversation that you had about that location? Do you recall?
This was right before Naziah went missing.
Like how soon before? Weeks?
Maybe like it was still like in that same week. She went missing.
Mr. Butts didn't have his own vehicle, fair to say?
No, he didn't.
He generally used
his female vehicles.
Did you know Mr. Butts to park at one location and maybe walk to another to kind of try to remain undetected?
Pretty much, yes.
So would it be not out of the ordinary for him to for you to have to pick him up at a random, or what seemed to be a random location to you?
Correct.
You lived with Naziah for, you said, from about October until January the 9th.
Correct.
So you spent a lot of time around her?
Yes.
You knew her mannerisms?
Yes.
Her demeanor?
Yes.
Her moods?
Yes.
Did anything strike you as out of the ordinary about how she was acting at any point in time in December or January before she disappeared?
No, Naziah, nothing has changed. Her character, none of that. She was just the same on Naziah. Nothing was different.
Naziah has a brother, right?
Yes.
Is it an older brother?
Yes.
Now, he had run away in 2023, is that right?
Yes.
Is it something that had bothered her or something that she was feeling at the time? Could cause a change in her demeanor? She did have a brother that ran away?
Correct.
And was that something that she struggled with?
She didn't like that her brother was running away. Yes, she didn't like it.
Around the same time, around the time, December, January, was her mother supposed to come visit, her biological mother?
Yes.
Did she end up coming to see Naziah?
Yes.
She did. Did Naziah seem to have some big emotions about that contact?
Yes.
Is it complicated, fair to say?
Yes.
Did she talk to you about that?
All the time.
Did you notice anything? You said you didn't notice anything in a change in mood. So,
no.
What about physically?
No.
anything else, thank you.
So you redirect?
Did you go to the Park Crest Inn on January 9th, 2024?
No.
And fair to say, you knew of Mr. Butts having other female friends?
Yes.
Okay. And even some that you didn't know about? Okay, so would it be fair to say that you don't always know, or you didn't always know what Mr. Butts was doing?
No.
You couldn't account for his whereabouts every minute of the day?
No.
Did you know him to, one of those cars that he would use, did you know him to have a white Escalade type truck?
Correct, yes.
And you were asked some questions about Outer Drive and Falcon. Fair to say, from what I gathered, the only connection you have to that area is drug spots.
Correct.
Okay, so he's the only one you would associate with that area.
Correct.
And you knew Mr. Butts to have other children?
Correct.
Okay, and you knew him to clearly have gotten other women pregnant?
Correct.
And to your knowledge, were all those women adults?
To my knowledge, yes.
Did he, to you, ever hide getting another woman pregnant?
No.
Nothing further direction.
You are going to testify, please watch yourself. Who's going to do the next business? As far as time. Okay, so we'll do one more witness and then we'll take a break.
At this time, we will call Marilyn Lee.
Raise your right hand. Please don't tell the truth, no truth, and nothing but the truth. Just please watch yourself.
Thank you, Judge. Could you state your name for the record, ma'am?
Marilyn Lee.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a stud at J.E. Clark School
And how long have you been a substitute teacher at J.E. Clark?
for like 3 years,
Okay. How long have you worked at J.E. Clark?
like 25 years.
Oh. I want to take your attention back to January 9th and 10th of 2024. During that time, and I guess the months leading up to that, were you familiar with someone by the name of Neziah Harris?
Yes.
And how were you familiar with her?
She was a student at our school
And how long had you known Neziah for?
since first grade,
So, and what grade was she in at that time?
8th grade.
On the 9th.
8th.
So you've known her roughly for 7 years?
Yes.
Okay. You said you're a substitute teacher at J.E. Clark. How do you get assigned to different classrooms?
If a teacher is absent or if they on prep, then I go to their classroom.
And were you in Nazia's class on January 9th?
Yes.
And were you in Nazia's class on January 10th?
No.
Sorry, were you the teacher assigned to Nazia's class on the 10th?
No.
Okay, who was that teacher?
I don't know.
But you were on the 9th?
Yes.
And on the 9th, was Nazia present in that classroom?
Yes.
And do you remember, if you remember, what she was wearing?
I think she had a plaid jacket on and some blue jeans. It was like a winter jacket, but it was like plaid.
May I approach, Judge?
Yes.
We're approaching what's already been admitted as Exhibit 12. Do you recognize that photo, man?
Yeah, Nazia.
And that's Nazia?
Yes.
And do you recognize when that photo is from?
No.
Okay. As part of your, if you are going to be a substitute teacher, do you have to take attendance for class?
Yes.
And did you do that on January 9th?
Yes.
And is there a form that you fill out or handwrite in for taking attendance?
Yes, this is one.
May I approach, Judge?
Yes.
I'm approaching with what's been marked as people's proposed exhibit 31, hoping you will counting it that's waiting for. Do you recognize that document, Ms. Lee?
Yes.
And is that an attendance document from
Yes.
J.E. Clark?
Yes.
And is that for Nazia's class?
Yes.
And does that include the dates from the 8th to the 12th of January 2024?
Yes.
Move to admit people's proposed 31.
Any objection? No objection. It'll be admitted as People's Exhibit 31.
And on that document, does it say that Nazia was present on January 9th?
Yes.
And how is that noted on that form?
A P.
Okay, and that stands for present?
Yes.
And does it say she was present on the 10th?
Yes.
It does say she was present.
Yes.
Was, to your knowledge, she present on the 10th?
No.
How do you know that?
Because me and Nazia are together every day. She comes to my room to get snacks and she was not there on the 10th.
So you're 100% that she was?
100% sure.
I got it.
Ross?
Hello,
Ms. Lee.
Good morning.
So you said that you were a sub at the school for 25 years?
No, I wasn't a sub for 25, for like 4 years. I've been in the building 25 years.
Okay, so what other roles before you were a sub?
A lunch aide, school facilitator, a parent educator.
Okay, but you referenced seeing Nazia almost daily?
Yes.
Okay, so even though you're a sub, you're always present in the
Oh, yeah,
building?
I'm always in the building.
Okay, and she comes to see you every day?
Yes.
What are those interactions usually like?
Most of the time, me and Nazia, she comes, she pick up her breakfast. We talk in the hallway for a few minutes. She go to class, then at lunchtime, we see each other again because I have a snack bar in my room and she usually come in there and get some snacks off the bar.
Okay, so when you say pick up her breakfast, is that part of your role?
No, that's not part of my role. That's in school. They have the breakfast set in the hallway and they just pick their breakfast up.
Okay, but she stops by to see you?
Yes, she stops by to see me.
Okay, and does she do that on the 9th?
Yes.
So you were a substitute on the 9th?
Yes.
And you said not the 10th?
No.
Were you a substitute prior to the 9th on the 8th?
I was a I'm a substitute every day.
I'm sorry, her specific class.
I can't remember I was in her class or not that day.
Okay, so maybe not regularly leading up to the 9th?
No. Because I think her teacher was there. Mr. Smith, I think he was there that day.
Okay, do you have an idea of how often you were a substitute in that specific class that year?
Ooh. Whenever Mr. Smith wasn't there, I don't know, maybe
once a week.
Okay, so it sounds like the school, maybe they don't use lots of different subs, or is it always you if he's out?
No, we have subs that come in, but I'm what they call a building sub, and I'm just placing that building.
Okay.
But like if there's 5 teachers out there, we might have 5 subs.
Okay. So there could be subs other than you in that class,
Yes.
but you were there somewhat.
Yes.
So you got to know Nasiah pretty well between, and did you find that she was acting at all unusual that day?
On the night she came in, she was acting very unusual because she usually just eat. I gave her assignment, she did her assignment, she laid on the floor, which made me really suspect because she never does anything like that. And she said, Miss Lee, I need to go see the counselor. And I told her after we eat breakfast, I see if the counselor is there, but the counselor never came up to see her.
So does that mean that you told the counselor about the observations you made?
No, I've never seen the counselor because she never came up to see us. I guess she wasn't in the building that day.
Okay, does that mean you tried to ask her to come see her?
Yeah, I asked this, the security guard if the counselor come in because she sent her to my room, but she never came in.
Okay, so just the security guard?
Yeah.
Did you tell anyone about what you'd seen other than the security guard?
No.
And then Nasiah left at the usual time at the end of school?
Yeah, at 2:40.
Okay. She got on the bus?
Yes.
So other than that behavior, she followed her usual routine?
Yes.
And then I know you didn't sub the next day, but you were present in the building on the 10th?
Yes.
Did you have any interaction with the police on the 10th?
I can't remember on the 10th. I can't remember.
Did the police ever interview you related to this case?
They came in and they didn't interview me. They just, I think it was Officer Jackson. That's the only person who spoke to me.
Do you know when that was?
I can't give you a date, but it was like in, I want to say October.
Okay, October of this past year, 2024?
Yeah, 24.
And that was the first time?
Yes.
Okay, and the only time?
Until I got the subpoena.
Until the subpoena, okay. And you're saying it wasn't really an interview?
No, it wasn't an interview. She just told me that I would have to come to court. That's all she said. She didn't give me no interview.
Okay, just to let you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, no further questions, thank you.
Can you redirect?
Yeah, very brief. You said in October-ish of last year, 24, an Officer Jackson talked to you?
Yes.
Do you know, does Officer Jackson work for the Detroit Public School Department or Detroit Police Department?
I think Detroit Police Department.
And that was the first time you were contacted?
Yes.
I have another further question.
Famous Lee or the testify, please watch us then. Walking out of the witness. Okay, I think this is a good time for a break. Back at 1:05.
Sounds good.
And we anticipated 5 more witnesses. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. You're gonna recess until 1:05?